All right, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of the Whiskey Gingers podcast. I'm Brandon. That's Chris. And we decided to forego the intro video today because it is a scorcher where Chris and I are recording this. And as a Whiskey on the Rocks man myself, I didn't want to unfairly water down the tonight's whiskey because I'm really excited about it. Chris and I were kind of just talking about this before we started. We've had a run of some whiskeys in this particular category that we were super stoked about, kind of getting back to our roots, and they've kind of let us down. But it seems like today that we might finally have a really great Irish whiskey for the first time in quite a few Irish whiskey attempts.
We've definitely been let down quite a bit recently with the Irish whiskeys. We are also all debuting a new mic as well.
Yeah.
So let us know if the mic winds up being better, worse, same. We have a feeling that it's going to be benefiting us a lot. We have like more than just me and Brandon on the pod, because we definitely have heard some feedback that some of our guest stars are a little bit quiet. So really what we're telling them is to speak up next time they're on, but hopefully we have their mic situation sorted. But
work will get another set.
I mean, without further ado, we're going to hop right into the whiskey today because Brandon's right. It is definitely hot out here in the Northeast.
Yeah.
We want to crack this sucker open.
I just took a nice swig of all the melted ice.
So what we got today is McConnell's Irish whiskey. So I'm going to try and get a good view for you guys there. It's a really cool looking bottle. I feel like in the daylight here, it's losing a little bit of its detail, but it's got some like really awesome glass profiling on the bottom of it. And it just looks like a super cool label on this guy. Hopefully it winds up being tasting as good as it looks. Yeah, that would be the thing. It's got a thing on the top of it here. This means absolutely nothing to us. Maybe we should read into it more. It says it's got 93 points for the Ultimate Spirits Challenge. I don't know what that is. Brandon might look that up for us. And it also lets us know that it's been aged for 5 years. So that's interesting to note. But we're going to take that off.
Oh, man, where's AI when you need it?
Where's AI when you need it?
You know when it gives you like that quick little synopsis?
Oh, I know. I love that. But isn't it weird, though, because it pulls it from whatever the most popular page is.
And so often it's bullshit.
So it could just be whatever it is. This is a really cool looking cork and top on this. I don't know if you've happened to seen it, like behind all that, but that looks
I like
really
this
cool.
Too, the little stamp.
The badge looks really cool too. So super cool looking bottle. I have high expectations for it. Just to give you guys a little bit of the fact sheets on it, it's 42% on this one. It looks like, so it says the legendary Irish whiskey founded in 1776 is now restored to bar rooms from Belfast to Boston and beyond. So it looks like this may have maybe had a hiatus or there was some things going on with it, but they're back and ready to go. It was founded in 1776 by McConnell. Predates the introduction of the E in Irish whiskey, and I've kept with the original. So I didn't even notice it on the bottle, but it is missing the E.
Oh, yeah.
So it's the more Irish version of how you would spell whiskey. And it is distilled and bottled. What's funny is it says distilled and bottled for J&J McConnell. So it may not be done by them specifically, but it's definitely distilled by somebody. Really interesting. It does have some flavor notes on the back. I don't want to really get into that because I want to see if we can figure it out on our own. But I think without further ado, we should pop it open and see what it's like.
While you're doing that, the Spirits Challenge.
I feel like I have to, by the way, open this right next to my chest.
Yeah, you do because of the mic. I'll stop talking for a second. Oh, one of the best ever.
It's a nice wet cork.
Yeah. So the Ultimate Spirits Challenge is a unique analytical methodology. So it's not necessarily like one competition. Everybody sits down and submits all the whiskey like I would think that it would be. It is a double-blind taste test. So only 2 or 3 people at the event that day know what's being judged.
Oh, that's cool.
The stagehands don't know, and the judges don't know. So there's no possible, correlation. And from what I can tell, the range, the lowest, the cheapest product in the most recent competition was $11.99, all the way up to $1,200.
Oh wow!
So it's like the whiskey spectrum of quality based solely on taste, not on price, or double blind.
I like that. That's really cool. That's
a
really neat thing. Hey, I'll give them a lot of credit then. If they got a 93 point on that, that's pretty neat.
Yeah, they stood on their own and did it.
Let's see if they meet the expectations of our tasting.
I'll tell you what, right off the bat, the problem we've had with a lot of Irish whiskeys lately is lack of flavor, lack of character, and it's kind of watery.
This got all
The
of
second I tasted this,
Mhm.
it is everything you want from an Irish whiskey.
It's really good, actually. I'm
It-
happy because the last time I feel like we've had something this good on the Irish front was probably Four Walls.
Yeah, it's been a long, long time.
And this, I think,
mean,
is actually more elevated than
This is
Four
better.
Walls, for sure.
This is better.
I think that the flavor on this is way more of what I'm expecting from an Irish whiskey.
It's so good because right off the bat, like, it's sweet enough to where like it's a little bit syrupy, but it's not like tart sweet or anything.
It's not syrupy sweet.
No, it's not thick, but it
Yeah.
just hit. Sometimes with these, like, it'll hit you later.
Mhm.
This one, the second it hits your lips, you know what the
Mhm.
flavor is.
Yeah, no, it's really good. And definitely different color than what we're
Yeah.
expecting.
Even with the ice, like typically mine goes translucent with the ice. I mean, you
Yeah.
can still see a good kind of caramel color
No,
even in my
that's
glass.
delicious. That's really good. Really good quality. What are you thinking for flavors?
God, well, we had vanilla ruined for us.
I would have said that regardless.
Yeah,
though, I
because that
think.
hits you right off the top.
Yeah.
I'm also thinking there's something nutty.
Mm.
So I'm not going to pin down what kind of nut or whatever, but there's something.
That's a vague, easy
There's
guess,
something
but I
nutty.
do like it. Yeah.
Whether it be, I don't know my nuts that well. I'm behind on my legumes.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I think that's a fair guess. I think that we'd be crazy to
Yeah.
pick anything else out of this one.
Let's see what we
But
got.
let's see what we got. A fine blend of Irish malt and Irish grain, gently rested in select bourbon casks. So that's pretty cool. Which brings out beautiful undertones of vanilla, ripe fruits, butterscotch, and pepper spice.
That's really close to a win. I
Mhm.
mean, we got the vanilla
And
butterscotch,
butterscotch, I feel
nutty,
like
not that far apart.
Yep. The pepper spice is
That threw
interesting,
me
and
a
I
little
feel
bit.
like maybe you get it a little bit at the end.
Oh.
What do you think?
Even now that I know it's there, I'm still not.
You're
I'm
still
still
struggling
missing
with
it.
that one.
Yeah,
Either way,
I love it.
An amazing bottle.
Yeah, I'm just.
I just saw this for the first time in the liquor store today, and you
it's
can
awesome.
guarantee I'll buy another
Yeah.
bottle of that because that'll be awesome to have on hand.
It might, it might be recency bias. It might be the fact that I was so starved to be like pleasantly surprised by an Irish whiskey. But like, I would put this up in like Bushmill Prohibition conversations.
Yeah, I would say so. I don't think it's quite Irish Tears level or Writers Tears
No, but that's
level.
yeah,
But
that's something even different.
what do you think? I know what the price is, obviously.
you
So
bought it.
what do you think?
I
the
would
price is on that?
gladly pay. I would gladly pay about $50.
You'll be pleasantly surprised. This was. It was originally 40, but I still would
That's
pay
great.
40 for this in a heartbeat.
Absolutely.
I think that this is the one where like the 50s category and
Yeah.
60s. I don't know if I'd want to go that far because then I would just get Writer's Tears.
How much is a bottle of Writer's Tears? I didn't
think
buy that one.
I think
either.
60 or pretty close to 60.
Yeah, but I would
So-
honestly even say if this were 50 and Writer's Tears were 60, let's just say,
It would be worth the discussion
I think that's where they should land. I think there's only a $10 difference
between the
this and
two of
Writer's
them. Oh, I
Tears.
100% agree. This is a delicious Irish whiskey. I mean, hey, if their goal was to come back with a bang, it gets my stamp of approval. It's really good. And I haven't really, I mean, like you said, I haven't really been feeling the Irish whiskeys. And I think it just has a lot to do with we've been having some that are a
bad
couple
ones.
duds, but it's kind of been putting me off from it a little bit.
Yeah, this one brought me back around.
I was hesitant, like I was in the bourbon.
Yeah, I
because
know.
It's separated by like the bourbons and the Irish. And I didn't even give Irish a second mind because I'm like, well, first of all, in our area, Irish whiskeys, there's like 4 to choose from, and we've pretty much done all of them. So it's rare that we find something new, and when we do, they haven't been that great. So
No, and they do like. I mean, I almost seem to find they do lean on the like on the cheaper side. Now, obviously, I do understand why. I mean, bourbon is native to the U.S., so you're going to get a little bit more of a niche bourbon selection.
yeah,
But the Irish whiskey selection at these stores, it is primarily like super overproduced brands. Like,
sure.
so that's why I'm not as excited about them. It's like, it's a whole bunch of carbon copies of Jameson.
I did a double take when I saw this
Yeah.
in the store because I'm like, okay, well, that's actually different. I mean, like, you see this bottle on a shelf, their marketing team should be really impressed, like, with themselves, because I think that this bottle itself looks
Yeah.
fantastic, and it got me to buy it. So,
And important, important to note. It seems stupid, but like when we were just talking about how kind of over commercialized like the Irish whiskey section is, when I see someone spell it Wisky, it catches my eye at least
sure,
because it's
sure.
not the American bastardization of what Irish whiskey is supposed to taste like.
Well, you know what? It is what it is. I think that it's an awesome whiskey, and I think it
Yeah,
leads into. It has no real like tie-in to our "Let's Drink
not
About It"
even
today.
slightly.
Not even a little bit. But I just think that sipping on this is, for me, in my opinion,
Mm.
this is a 2-glass podcast
I'll
kind
have
of
another
thing.
one. Yeah,
So I think that that's what
I'll for sure
my
have another one.
direction's going. So if we're gonna have 2 glass, we might as well jump into "Let's Drink About It"
Yeah,
and get into that. I don't know what the whole catalyst for it is. There's a small catalyst, I suppose, is that we've both been on Royal Caribbean cruise
Yeah.
ships before, and we just saw that they had that one of their newest cruise ships. There was like a malfunction on their
yeah. The
slide,
slide shattered.
and the slide shattered. And it's like, what are your thoughts on that? I mean, this is a big company doing something like that.
Yeah.
I'm not here to ream out Royal Caribbean, by the way. Like, I'm a big fan.
Yeah,
I still plan to responses to
Yeah.
bring up.
I mean, so for one, like, if you haven't seen the video, highly recommend it. It's not like gory, like the guy doesn't fall through the slide, but it is really interesting to see because it breaks in a really weird way.
Mm-hmm.
But in essence, what ended up happening from a grainy video, it looks like this poor guy going down the slide gets the cup check of a lifetime.
Oh yeah,
because he's going down feet first. The slide gives out, and you see him drop down, take one kind of right between the uprights, and then head on the rest of the way down. But to answer your question, would it affect whether or not I would go on another Royal Caribbean cruise? Not necessarily. I wouldn't take that boat though. This isn't the first time that Icon's even had an issue.
sure. No,
Yeah.
I totally get that. And I think that what it comes down to a lot is like you see this in the industry in general. This is like a brand new flagship thing. You see this in every industry. You see this in cell phones. It's a brand new flagship thing, and they're launching something that could potentially have problems, and they're kind of ironing it out as they go, which can get a little bit unfortunate.
Yeah. Well, and it's also like, I mean, I was never a fan of them from Jump Street. I think,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's cool having like a floating city like the one you and I did.
Sure.
The one that we all did. But
Sure.
I think at this point we've reached like floating theme park. And if I wanted to lock myself in Six Flags for 5 days,
You could do that.
I would. I'm all right on that. Like there are some moments where I want to leave the amusement park
Sure.
and go do some adult stuff. So I don't think either of these would be for me regardless. But
Yeah.
especially after watching some guy reascend one of his testicles, I'm quite all right.
I have to take it like with a grain of salt and play devil's advocate, because I definitely am a big Royal Caribbean fan. Those are the cruise lines I've most cruised on. And I won't say that this is going to stop me from going on a Royal Caribbean cruise, because that's not true. But like the devil's advocate part that I have to play is I certainly will trash on like Carnival cruises all the time.
Yeah.
And that's because I've seen a bunch of them
This happens weekly.
go up in flames and
Yeah.
stuff. So there is truth to saying like seeing something like that will make you interpret if you're going to go on that ship or not. So I just like I thought about it and I'm like, you know what? It's not fair of me to say that like that's a silly belief for people to have, because that's 100% why I don't go on Carnival cruises. I see so much shit about them all the time, about how they're constantly lighting on fire. There was that whole documentary.
Oh, did you see Poop Cruise?
Poop Cruise.
Did you watch it?
I didn't watch it.
Oh God,
Morgan watched it and she explained it to me, and I'm like, oh, yep, there you go.
There was
Carnival.
just a canal of shit.
It's insane. So something like that, I think, is a good reason for
that
people
ship
to
is
be
still
like,
sailing too.
I
By
know,
the
they
way, and
rebranded
people
it.
say you can still smell it.
They rebranded it.
Yeah,
It's not called the same name anymore. But
no,
either
but
way, like that would be enough for me to say I'm not
No
taking
way.
that cruise line in general. To your point, like maybe something like this could be like, there's too many kinks on this boat. I don't think I can go on that. Plus, it may maybe not be like your cup of tea anyway.
Yeah,
But yeah, I mean, like that's the thing, and I guess it brings up a discussion: is it too greedy of businesses to potentially rush things before they're ready?
I mean, in this instance, I don't think it's a greed issue. Like, I mean,
It just might be an oversight from the world's most ridiculously large cruise ship.
yeah, well, I don't even mean that. Like, the reason you have to rush these isn't like, oh, we want to get this thing out, to start making money. I mean, I guess it is in a sense, but
investors think that way.
Yeah, well, it's so goddamn expensive to build one of these things. You need to start recouping that
Sure.
ASAP.
Like yesterday.
Yeah, so it's not, it's greed in a sense, but I mean, it's also like, I don't think it's bad business to hurry these things along.
No.
Yeah.
But it is tough. I mean, they just built their second one. Their second one is actually in the same class. So this was the Icon of the Seas. This brings it into their Icon class of ship now.
Yeah, now
so
there's
it
what,
sets the
Star?
precedent. So now they're Star. Star just went through its testing phase. So they had like a bunch of influencers and stuff go on with that. And they just...
How funny would it be to watch Logan Paul fall through a slide?
It would be really good.
He's so fucking funny.
With Prime in his hands.
He's doing an ad read, just...
He plops through. I don't know. I mean, that whole thing's terrifying. It is what it is. I hope that like they can learn from the experience, and you never really know. It could be a freak accident. And unfortunately, when you're in a situation like that where there's that many people and the boat is so new, it's in the limelight, there's no way that gets swept under the rug. It's in the most public place on the boat. If you're on a boat and the toilet stops working for some reason, it's not, that's honestly, that's probably a bigger inconvenience in a lot of ways, but that doesn't get notated because it's not like an in-your-face thing.
No, I mean, to your point about like, writing off the line in general, that would be like, going to a residence in some rural area, or like, let's say residence in like, Lancaster or something, and it sucks. And then you go to New York and you're like, I'll never stay at a residence inn again. It is not even
a comparable thing.
Like I may never stay at that residence inn again in Lancaster because it sucked and the Amish broke into my house and took all my light bulbs. But I mean, the rest of them would be open.
Is that a fear of yours?
Possible. What if they discover electricity?
That's what they decide. They're like, well, you know what? We like electricity now. We just got to start taking it from everybody else.
Yeah, I mean, it is something to consider if you live near the Amish.
What if they have like secret speakeasies, but instead of serving alcohol, they serve like TV and like,
can they drink?
NFL is on there. I don't know. That's a good question.
If you're Amish, write in.
Watching this,
if you're Amish bootlegging cable from one of your layperson neighbors,
it's a very niche. It's a very niche thing. They're doing exactly what I'm describing right now. They're in like a speakeasy, but instead of drinking, they just go watch TV and YouTube.
So some Amish individuals consume alcohol, while it differs between groups. New Order Amish discourage and prohibit alcohol consumption, whereas Old Order Amish may allow it in moderation. Some Amish even make their own wine or beer, often for religious purposes.
Oh, religious purposes. Well, I guess the wine could be, but
so there is a chance that Amish people are
getting hammered watching NFL in a speakeasy.
That'd be so. Oh, I was so busy researching this. I do love the idea of like an NFL red zone speakeasy.
I would pay money to be on a fly on a wall like situation in a Amish speakeasy where they're just like hanging out and they're hiding from like.
That'd be so funny.
The group.
There was some stories a while back where Starlink, like it's basically like mobile broadband on an extremely large scale to like other communities. Well, apparently at some point Starlink passed over North Korea, and people. Let me put this delicately. Starlink glitched out from the amount of people watching roughly 30-minute movies on their mobile devices.
Oh my gosh!
Because they don't have it otherwise.
Yeah. That's
so
really
Starlink
funny.
came over. Everybody.
Oh my gosh! Everybody was like going straight after it. There was a lot of. I'm not even gonna go there. I'm going to leave it
but
right
the Amish
there.
made me think of that, where it's like they shorted out Starlink.
Yep.
I'm sure they would have the same general problem.
Funny. Oh my gosh.
But
you know what's crazy about like Starlink and satellites and everything else is like this is a totally different tangent from where we're at right now, but it just popped into my brain. Maybe it'll be interesting for a little bit. But
this just became Diet Joe Rogan.
Space jump.
So, now we're really
Diet Joe Rogan.
Space lasers and space
lasers in outer space.
But no, yeah, you're right. I mean, like we do just everything that goes up there for the most part just gets left.
Well, I was listening to something about like the International Space Station. And what's interesting about that is that's not a permanent project. Like the idea of the ISS is not to stay in space forever. It's to eventually come down. So like at some point they're going to have to take it apart in space, piece by piece, and basically let it burn up in the atmosphere as it comes down. and not
I feel like
crash into the planet.
I feel like Bezos is gonna have a plan for that.
What's the plan?
I don't know.
Blow it up in space?
Have some minimum wage stoner in an Amazon van. 1 day shipping.
Instead of Amazon vans, it'll be like little Amazon shuttles. They just keep going up there.
It is that would be super cool. I know there's communities in Alaska that are already using drones for food delivery.
Oh, really?
I would
mean,
pay
that
extra.
makes a lot of sense. Well, you do pay extra for anything in Alaska because it's so remote.
I would love to go, but I just meant here. Like, if there was an option on DoorDash to pay an extra $5 to have my food airlifted to me,
if it got here faster, sure.
It would have to play the sound. Like when it takes off, you would have to hear care package inbound. That's the only way it'd be worth.
And smoke drops in your backyard, and it just like lands right there like a red smoke screen. I'm going out.
13-year-old steals your food, calls you a slur online.
Dude,
it's so realistic.
That's hysterical. I don't know. I mean, does it get too far with that? Like with, I don't even know if that's like even what I'm asking. I've never used DoorDash, by the way, ever. I've never
once in your life.
Never once in my life have I ever I mean, I've ordered takeout like an old man.
But you've never gone on the DoorDash app and said, I want this.
It's not on my phone. It's not on my wife's phone. I've never DoorDashed anything in my life. Because typically, I find that delivery services these days suck, and I'd rather just go get it myself because it's going to take like a quarter of the time. But there is an inconvenience factor there.
Funny.
Like when I get Chinese food, I go to the Chinese food place.
Chinese food, I do too.
I don't order it here, mainly because I want it to get to my house. But like
Chinese and pizza, I'm with you. I go get that. But there's other stuff where I'll absolutely DoorDash and stuff. Like the only things I do pick up are Chinese and pizza. Like everything else is DoorDash.
Well, also if it's super local, I mean, like my pizza place is like a block away, so it would be.
You've done it.
They won't deliver to me, I'm sure.
No.
If like I asked them,
they would.
be like, "Are you kidding me?"
As a former delivery boy, they absolutely would. I used to, way back in my day when I was delivering pizzas. I had a client, like a guy that would call in. He lived in the trailer park across from the pizza place, and he'd order delivery. I walked.
It's not worth getting in the car.
Yeah, I would just show up at his door like 8 minutes, and he was like, "Oh, would you walk here?" I'm like, yeah, like you could have. This isn't like if you're elderly or bedridden or like just whatever, that it does have its place. Like this is one of those guys that was on like disability. Like someone bumped into his foot with a forklift one time,
in air quotes,
and then never worked again. I'm like, you could also walk too.
I took off my pinky nail.
Yeah, he did tip a standard $5, so he and I were cool. But
to walk over there, that's worth the $5.
Oh yeah, well that's the other thing. That's why I also try to pick up or actually call those stores for delivery. It's killing the delivery driver industry.
Is tipping culture getting out of control? In the sense that
as a whole,
let me preface that. I'm not saying that people shouldn't be tipped, because people that actually like wait on you and serve you and everything else, 100%
if you perform a service.
When I walk into my pizza place and I pay, and on the little thing, it says add 5%, 10%, 15% tip.
Yeah.
For them to cook my pizza.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're out of your mind. I paid you to do the job that you're supposed to be doing. If you brought it to my house, you would get a tip.
Yeah.
If you served me at a restaurant, you would get a tip. If you mix my drink at the bar, you get a tip. But because you made my pizza that you do for everybody else anyway, that gets you a tip. I'm just confused by that.
So that's a really interesting one, because for the longest time I was the same way until I worked at one and realized kind of how everybody, and this, you're also right, but the culture in restaurants is wrong.
Okay.
Because they act as though, so the tip doesn't go to the kitchen staff. They're typically the highest paid people there because they're doing the most work.
Fair enough.
The people who are girls who are taking your order, cutting the pizza, assembling the order.
Do they get parts of the tip from like deliveries?
No. So if you tip up front, you're the only people tipping them.
Gotcha.
That's why, and I mean, no one would ever know that. I didn't know until I started working there, but that's why even now I don't tip them the same, but I'll tip 10% instead of 20.
Yeah.
Because I know that the cooks are getting a little bit of a better salary because of the workload, and the delivery guys are getting tipped out. They're the only ones that are kind of left out of the equation.
I feel like I have to, because I'm there enough that like if I hit like the FU button on it, then it'd start spitting in my food. So I started using like the at least 5% tip option for that. At least
Anything is like
it is uncomfortable though. I mean, like, don't get me
For
wrong.
sure.
You can go to like a bagel shop, and at like the bagel shop, you know, all of a sudden you're paying, and there's a screen that comes up for like the tip that you want to leave for an in-store pickup. I'm like, you just picked 6 bagels for me.
Yeah, and
It's
again,
like, come on.
who's that going to? Like, if that's
Yeah.
going to the guy working the grill, and I know this is my favorite bagel shop, he's going to put 5 slices of bacon on there. I'll throw him 10%.
Yeah, I'd probably give him a bunch. Yeah.
Yeah, but if it's going to, and in that instance, if it's just going to the person who handed me my bagel, that's different. In a pizza place, all the counter people are handed is a pizza.
Yeah.
They're boxing, they're cutting, they're assembling.
Yeah.
If you're at a bagel place or a Starbucks or whatever, they're handed a cup that they then hand you. That's not tip worthy.
No, it's a little interesting.
I was at a Starbucks and I did one of those. If you're on the road, and I don't drink coffee, so I got like some kind of drink from the refrigerator and a tomato pesto sandwich, also from the refrigerator. And she flips the thing around to tip, and I was like, I did everything today.
Yeah.
I picked up my own drink. I picked up my own sandwich. What the hell am I tipping you for?
She put that sandwich in that fridge.
I doubt that. Like, there are times you're 100% right.
No, that is a tough one. It really is. That's really an interesting concept too. And I think that
and I'll tip a barista. Don't get me wrong. If you're making me something, I'm tipping you.
Well, like, wouldn't it just be easier? And I mean, like, this is a fundamental thing to like pay people that work in those industries more money and then not have to worry about it.
Oh, 100%.
I mean, tipping culture is
100%.
It's kind of an insult in other countries.
Extremely.
Like, if you gave a European guy $20 after dinner, they'd be like, "What the fuck?"
Well, yeah, because it'd be like if you and I just met each other for the first time, and I'm leaving, and you hand me a 20 and just go, "Hey, buy yourself something nice."
Yeah,
that's you telling me I'm poor.
I don't make enough. Yeah,
and that's for them. It's like, oh, what? You don't think I make enough doing this job? You need to help me because they're getting paid a salary. Here, I mean, like I used to get paid $4 an hour plus tips.
Yeah,
because if you add plus tip in the restaurant game, you can pay people whatever the fuck you want.
Pretty much. Because in some cases you can make bank, and then in other times you just don't make any money at all.
If you're at a great restaurant, like I was out in Wyoming 2 weeks ago now, and part of my family is a restaurant family. Their servers will do in tip about $1,000 to $1,500 a week.
Really?
Before like paycheck. So like my nephew's 15, and his paychecks are about $1,800 a week.
That's awesome.
Sorry, $1,800 a paycheck, which is great.
Yeah, that's awesome for him.
I mean, that's adult money. That's first job with a degree. But then you also have people like, I always feel bad if you go to
that's dangerous habits money when you're young.
Oh, for sure. But like, spare a thought for the people that work at Chili's on the lunch shift. It's $10.
Yeah.
Like, you're gonna get fucked.
You get one table.
Yeah, like I think the least I would ever tip anybody if I sit down at a table or a booth is $4. Like if I get a $10 lunch, that is not your fault. I'm still giving you $4.
Yeah.
You didn't decide to do 2 for $12. Like that was made above you.
That's tough. That is really tough.
But not everything needs to be tippable. You're right, and it's so awkward when they're standing right there.
The screen tilt is what gets me every time. I hate that. And they're looking at you to see what you're going to select.
And the worst is coffee shops. Nobody does it more than a coffee shop.
Yeah.
Like pizza places, by and large, they'll give you the receipt. You can choose to write on or not.
Sure.
Coffee place, the girl's looking right at you.
Yep. Turns it around.
Yeah, as I hit no, and you got to look right in the eye. Like, negative.
Nice try.
Where do you? We talked about weddings a little while ago. We only have a minute, so I'll end it on this. But where do you land on? Like, is it this is like a classy or trashy kind of question. If it's your wedding, your bartenders, do you want them? Are you cool with them putting out a QR code with their Venmo, or should be cash?
You would hope that people would bring cash, but I feel like in today's world, not everybody carries cash. So like that's a little bit tough. I don't necessarily care if they have Venmo. I think that's actually a negative to them because you brought this point up. It's like you don't know who actually tipped you and who didn't. Yes,
I mean I would argue it's a negative to the consumer.
Yeah,
they're getting the money. Yeah. I'm not getting my credit. If I hand you a 20, you're going to remember.
No, I think cash is king. I think cash will always be king. I like to keep cash on me when I travel. I always do. I think that it's really nice. And I think that whenever I am tipping,
Yeah.
by and large, I try and do it in cash.
They do get taxed otherwise.
Yeah. So, I mean, well, maybe not forever. I think that got signed in, that's not the case anymore. Taxes on tipped employees, I think, went away, or at least that was in the process of going away. But regardless, yes,
Yeah.
cash is better.
Yeah. I thought, there's some stipulation with that was stupid. Or not stupid, but there's some stipulation where a lot of restaurant workers fall into the category, but
It's something that like doesn't allow it to collect.
I forget what it is. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
not too up on it, but yeah, I mean that part in cash is always. I just think it's like you said, the connection's better. Like
Sure.
that's your bartender for the whole night. So if
Yeah.
I hand you a 20, you're taking care of me.
Exactly.
Otherwise, you. All right. Well, if that wasn't a sign, I'm not sure what is. But on the back end of one of the best Irish whiskey podcasts we've had in quite a long time, we will see you in 2 weeks. That might be Labor Day. We'll deal with it later. We'll see you. I'll see you in 2 weeks. I'm Brandon. That's Chris with the Whiskey Gingers.
Thank you.